Hey everyone. All right, I'll be turning the camera on in a moment. I don't really have much makeup or anything on, so I want to just fix that before I turn the camera all on. Oh boy. So, all right, let me get on over to chat. Why can't I hear myself? Okay. Hey everyone. I know it's late, but there also seems to be just so much shit going on lately that I don't know, man. I can't keep up with it all. Like even the shit that I'm like directly involved in, I can't seem to keep up with it. Um, so I'm gonna play catch up for some of that, and I thought, well, why not do it with y'all in case y'all need to play catch up too? But um, some things I'm not gonna. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know how much of everything I want to cover really, at least tonight. But have been a couple of live streams that I wanted to kind of commentate on a little bit. So I think I'm going to do that too. But this probably isn't going to be a very long live stream. Oh, ow. So, your name is Aaron. Hi, MT. Hi, Cheese. Yes, my name is Aaron. Yep. Ow. Sorry. I'm brushing my hair, and I don't like snarls. They hurt so bad. Oh, I think my son's up. Probably a good thing because he has to move his car. Okay. Hey, Brandon. Makeup is lying. Whoa. What do you mean makeup is lying? What are you talking about? You saying like makeup in general, or are you talking like makeup mobster? I don't. I honestly, is there something I need to watch of makeup mobsters? Hey, Sue Elliott. Hi, Randa. Hi, Brandon. By the way. Hey, Sally. What the hell was that noise? What is? Dude, that's fucking freaky. My AirPod legit just picked up a noise, and it wasn't like an alert sound or whatever. It's like a guy. It was a guy's voice. And it lasted for like 1 second. So fucking, but it's not connected to anything. My it's not connected to the computer. It's not connected to my iPad. Not to my. Oh no, it is connected to my phone. Oh, I don't care. I'm not gonna worry about it now. All right, it's fucking weird though. Let's actually talk about it. Maybe you can change my mind. What are you talking about? Well, I like to know what it is you're talking about first before, because I may not even want to put it on my channel. I don't know. I just kind of need to know what the content is. I got no problem like having it come up or whatever, but I need to know what this is about first. So you said makeup, so am I to assume that you mean makeup mobster? Hey Megan. Hi Lily. Hey Triple Threat. Hey Reagan. All right, so okay, putting on makeup. Oh, you're talking about my makeup? How makeup? So okay, all right. That's what I thought you meant, but I wasn't sure. All right, so I'll drop the link in a little bit and people can come up, but I just want to, I don't know, talk about a couple of things first. First of all, I want to play a part of a stream. It's a couple days old now at this point, but I kind of like some of the points brought up in it. And more importantly, it just really, really kind of gives some like validity to some things I've said, I guess you could say. So let me go pull it up. Okay, yep, there it is. Right? Okay, so the stream I'm going to be playing a little bit from, not much, just about maybe half an hour of it at most. But considering that it's like a 6 hour long live stream, and it's pretty good, it's just a half an hour of it. But anyway, it's a stream over on Deets on the Streets channel, and it's the one from 2 days ago, entitled "Well, Yesterday Was a Lot. Let's Talk About It Together." Open panel discussion. So let me share screen. Okay, so let me do this. All right, so I'm starting it at right around the 1 hour 50-minute mark.
You get outed with them, or your husband's place of employment gets called and asked, do you know what your wife is up to on YouTube? Which, by the way, they all got a great chuckle out of that. Whoever you were, he's going to send me the sound tonight.
Up on panel here, we have this person here in the top left. The one talking right now is Deets on the Streets, I believe. I'm not quite sure who everyone else is because their names aren't on there yet, but the names will pop up shortly.
But it is.
That girl.
Everybody's hang on real quick. Everybody's background lives possibly will be dug into, and they will be scrubbed and gone through. And do I think that's right? No, not necessarily. Not if they're truly not up to things, if they're not involved in things and they're not doing these things on YouTube and on the internet. I don't think that it should be. Would I have done this video like the jerks did? Probably not. Just being honest, I probably would not have. Because based on what she's currently putting out there on YouTube, I don't see that. But it's out there. People are talking about it. People are addressing it. And there's a whole community of us that want to have a conversation about it and go over these things. And I felt like it was the right thing to do to offer that platform. And I've never lied about me. I've never said I was the prettiest person in the world or the youngest or the ugliest or any of that. But this, oh my God.
Ooh, girl.
You're so pretty, Dee.
I am who I am.
Beautiful.
I don't know why the glare is so horrible.
She is very pretty. I have to say. I don't know. She is very pretty. I was kind of surprised. I'm not at all calling her old. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm not at all. I mean, she's younger than me, so of course I'm not calling her old. But she sounds like she's younger, like the tone of her voice, the pitch, all that. I was expecting someone like in their like maybe mid-20s or something, and she's not quite that young, So that was a little surprising, but she's very pretty.
With the light, I'm not this shiny, but my back, everything I have shared with you guys about who I am and what I'm about, it's 110% true. You can dig into me and my husband. You're going to find a parking ticket. You're going to find that
speeding ticket.
School board members. We're part of the PTA. We're active in our church. We work in charities, things like that. You're not going to find anything dirty on me, but please dig in and call his workplace. I'd love for that to continue to happen.
Good luck with that. And anybody who does shit like that is so vile. I don't understand.
I don't either.
It's like crank calling when you're a kid, like, and they never grow up from kind of, and more, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah.
And see, that's what I say. I mean, like my name's Brianna Davidson. Google me. 26 years. I'm sure I've said something wrong at some point. But the most you're going to find in a criminal history is a dog at large, several dog at large, 100 dog at large tickets because our dog was dumb, and a bankruptcy. Woohoo. That's it. Go for it. Here I am. I mean, if that's where we are, if that's what we have to do to prove that we belong here, go
Right,
for it.
so
Wait, okay, I'm not to the bottom, but Johnson put what you put in the back chat is that it went over my head that that article proved it wasn't leaked by you. It says right here, the television stated that the parents were upset that autopsy photos had been published on the online blog Renews It.
Published on the online.
And
but
reported
leaked?
the Johnsons claimed that the photos were not part of a judge's ruling last year that the entire case file be made public.
Wasn't the rumor that they, yeah, from the sheriff, right?
So they went from the lawyer to Renews It.
Did it go from lawyer to Renews It? Is that
I
the,
don't
like?
know.
I mean, it could have went another way.
Why did the
Yeah.
parents' lawyer?
Penny, no, Dolly absolutely has a right to speak on Hills. I don't know what you don't get. I said Dolly used it. Like, you can speak on Hills all you want, but to act like you give a fuck about the race card, the race.
okay, so I want to address some things here in chat, okay? Because Heels in the Air, and I'm not coming for her. I'm not throwing her any more hate or whatever. She's getting enough hate, I think. I do not at all agree with anything she said. In fact, I'm just as shocked as anyone else, I think. Maybe not quite as shocked because they probably think that they knew her, much better than I ever could. But so I have no doubt that there are other people like way more shocked and upset about things than me being shocked. But I'm not a big fan of the whole dogpiling. I'm not a big fan of just really kicking someone hard when they're down or whatever. But that doesn't mean that anything I have learned about her these past few days is at all forgivable, or from my point of view, or I think it's redeemable, but it's only redeemable if the person is seeking redemption. And I don't see that at this point in time. So as of right now, I don't think it's redeemable. So, but I just don't want to be a part of the hate mob, I guess. I don't want to be. I really don't. So I'm not going to get into all of that so much here. But there is one thing here I want to address, because Heels is really trying to make an argument that she's been doxxed or whatever, that the whole point of putting all of this information out there has had an agenda. It's had a goal, and that goal was to get her to basically out herself or whatever. Well, I don't think that that's true. I don't, but I don't really care if it's true or not. I don't, because I don't feel like she has a reasonable expectation of privacy at this point. I really don't. But I'll go into explain that more of that in a bit, but I'll let it keep playing for now.
Part of it all is mind blowing. When he's got swastika Santa Claus sitting next to him in the hot tub while he's interviewing. Like, if you want to call people out, call people out. Call everybody out. Don't be bullshitting.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's just using it as drama. He's just using it, because he's like, ooh,
taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah. Drama.
Yes.
He knows that it'll get people from the Hive to watch. It will get his people to watch, and it's like Heels.
And it's the only time his numbers are.
Wait, oh my God, that comment. I didn't notice that before. Watts News, first of all. I am just wondering if this witch hunt against Heels will stand the scrutiny of the Wayback Machine. If this turns out favorably for her, I'm not sure how that's going to turn out favorably for her. I think that at this point, the only way that could happen is if just somehow it was proven that everything was faked and a bunch of bullshit. But she's already confirmed that it's not bullshit for the most part, because she's defending it, which means she accepts that it's her.
That big, it really is. So
you see
call it for what it is.
He likes to see the numbers big,
To put justice for Kendrick Johnson. That made me sick. Yes,
that
we
is
need justice
crazy
for Kendrick Johnson, but you don't give a fuck about that kid.
I
It was 9 years
appreciate
ago. Yeah.
these comments from Watts News and Kathy P. Like, I appreciate that. I think that you guys absolutely should. Ruin Hell. I see a lot of flaming
Right.
pitchfork. I appreciate
I mean,
that. I
so
think
I
that
didn't
you
even
guys
see that from Kathy
absolutely
P
should.
before. Heels in the air. I'm going to wait to hear from you because I just think there's more here with the JLR and Bullhorn Betty lawsuits. Okay, maybe this, for argument's sake, let's say you're right. What the fuck does they have to do with anything that this panel is discussing here? It doesn't. Why are you trying to conflate the two?
Ruin Hell. I see a lot of flaming pitchforks in here. That's what it's all about, is having, there's so many different sides of this. And I just, that,
Okay. That's wow, that kills me. Okay. So I remember saying something, and I'm not sitting here saying told you so or any shit like that. In fact, it's kind of just by a fluke that I was even correct. I was that fluke being I've kind of been through this shit once already before online. It's not a matter if especially if you are a part of the mob that comes for someone or part of the group of people that's trying to incite everyone else around them against a certain someone or entity, whatever. It's not a matter of if those same people will suddenly turn on you and come for you. It is a matter of when. It's plain and simple. It's just a matter of when. And we're watching it happen again. I mean, it was Molly there for the longest time, you know, and then they started going after JLR and Dolly. I don't know much about either one of them, but I'm just pointing out that it seemed like for some of these creators, not all of them, some, it seems like their whole purpose on social media has been nothing more than just going after other content creators. And it'd be different if they were going after channels that were breaking the law by showing videos of people like assaulting other people or burning shit down or anything along the lines of being illegal. That'd be one thing. But to go after a channel simply because they pissed you off or you don't agree with something, even though the law doesn't disagree with them, then you should just fucking say to yourself, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they come for me next.
Penny, just stop. Okay, the lab's in here. Deets.
I probably can't see him because he has me blocked. I don't know if I can see him or not. I'm not done.
Oops. This is what I was thinking. Like, I feel like Heels is in a place now that she's stuck. What does she do if she doesn't? I mean, does she come out and dox herself and say this is me? I mean, does she have to say that, or like, I mean, she's been placed in a corner.
Right. Then he had it that the parents were upset with Renews It. It doesn't list any other thing
so the
here.
parents were
Because
upset with that blog.
Johnson's parents did Renews It blog that they were upset with.
Moral.
Okay, so the names are up here. We have Jones and Pearl DeVere, Brittana Davidson, and Ellie.
So when it comes to Kendrick Johnson, if you climb back to stuff I said in 2013, my sons were wrestlers. I know what a rolled up wrestling mat looks like, and I know how tight the middle is, and I know that nobody's fallen down the middle of one.
No way.
So I mean, that's where I always stood on it.
You can't even crawl.
I'm not going to do that. If that is, yeah, because I'm not.
Like we heard yesterday, pretend
Like,
like
not
that's
going to call Queen by her name, but
Spock. It's up to.
like, are we really responding to Vicky Pate in that he said right now? Okay,
if okay, it's not in the lawsuit.
Okay, so
stop line, but Indy, she is.
Here they're going to discuss Vicky's name being spoken, being revealed or exposed, even though it's not really being revealed or exposed because most people can find it very easily and already know it. But they're still going to talk about this as though it's doxing, and I have some thoughts on that.
Back in, it's so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Independent
I
thinker
agree.
keeps telling Hills that she's not in a lawsuit. Stop lying. But Indy, she is in a lawsuit. Okay, hold on. No, she's not. Let's put it this way.
She was listed in it. Right?
If she is Vicky,
Okay, I have to interrupt right now because I'm really curious right now how you're saying if she is, and Ellie said what she said when we heard her
Yeah, we know it.
responding to Vicky Pay in that interview. That's her voice. Like, are we really
Well,
going to act like we
I'm-
didn't hear that?
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's up to Heels now. Like, it's up to her to, like, 'cause
right?
she's
We
in a
know,
tight
but
spot. Don't you think?
I'm not down. It's just like I don't go and call Queen by her name just because everybody else does. I'm
Okay,
not
and
going to
that's fine.
call.
Saying start calling her VP, but can we not pretend like we didn't hear exactly that what we heard yesterday? That's like gaslighting for the people that it's upsetting for.
Mhm.
Like, we know that she's lying. We
We
heard
know.
her voice with everybody who heard it knows. But
Yeah,
y'all
but
up here
no.
acting like you don't. That's really weird.
I'm not acting
I'm
like
not
I
up here acting like
She's
shit.
not wrong.
You said
I'm not
if
like
she
I don't.
is, but
Yeah,
you
because
heard
I'm
her
not going to
respond.
dox somebody. I'm not going to do that.
Exactly.
If that is her,
Exactly.
then that is her. That's her problem to deal with.
She
But
doxed
I'm not going to
herself.
keep calling her by her fucking government name. I'm not going to do it.
I don't think we
Asked
should.
to. Nobody asked you to at all, nor would I ever ask anybody to. But to say if that was her when we already heard her voice to me is asinine. That's all.
No, I was talking about the lawsuit because Indy kept saying that she is not involved in the lawsuit. And I'm saying if that is her, then yes, she is. She is listed on it.
And that girl,
Maybe the ifs are just throwing me off. I don't know. It's just weird to me because I feel like we call out everybody else balls to the wall, but this one we're gonna handle with kitten gloves, and it's freaking weird. That's all I ask.
that girl, I have the middle tones missing from my left ear. I'm partially deaf in my left ear. I cannot tell Toasty and Emmy apart
Okay,
no
so
matter
I'm
how
gonna
hard I try.
talk about that for a second. Like,
I can't.
I get like if there's someone you dislike who's being revealed to be guilty of something, and you speak out against that person, but then you find out that someone you like was also kind of found out to be guilty of the same thing. Yeah, people aren't going to attack that with the same veracity. And I don't think we can be expected to. However, that doesn't mean that you gloss over it or you ignore it or you don't, at the very least, acknowledge it. Yeah, I think people should absolutely do that. But you may not come after that the person you're friends with the same amount of ire or whatever. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that necessarily, so long as you're not covering it up as well. But the whole doxing of her name. See, all right, here's the thing. All right, I look at it this way. I forget which amendment it is or whatever. Maybe it's the Fourth Amendment. I don't know, but it's the one in our Constitution that says the right to face our accusers. Well, if you have a public platform and you're going on this platform to not just to simply share an opinion or whatever, but to speak about things as if you have some sort of inside knowledge, that you are in the know of something, and you then disparage someone and talk very poorly about them, and you don't provide any proofs or evidence to back up the things you're saying, well, then I don't think that you really have much of an expectation any longer for your privacy. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have a right to it necessarily, but I don't think you have more of a right to your privacy than other people have to face their accuser in you. Now, this isn't a court of law or whatever, so I get that it's not applicable. I understand that. But no, I think that this is more like the court of public opinion rather. And this is why I'm not talking about someone being arrested or whatever. But if you're going to speak on someone's character, especially if you're going to speak on that character in a negative way, in a way which can harm the person, and when you do so, you don't offer up anything to prove your claims, but you just keep talking, then I think that your accused or the person you're talking about kind of has a right to face their accuser. And by that, I mean just your identity, but not where you live or any stupid shit like that, but just something to really be able to determine if there is or isn't some sort of online pattern of attacking people like this, or some sort of racist pattern, or whatever the case may be. I mean, And I'm not talking about viewers. I'm not talking about people who just show up and chat or whatever, and, and participate. No, I'm talking about people who, especially if they make money from their channel and from the things that they say. I think that to expect some sort of, to expect an entire community to support you in being anonymous as you do this to those very people in that community, I think is very entitled. I don't know. That's my opinion. I'm going to check chat here for a minute. Kira went on a date. Hey, Irish. Awesome. Hey, Nikki. Don't worry about it. I'm out of the loop too. I have a lot of shit messages and shit that I need to read and catch up on. That's probably not going to happen until tomorrow though, sometime. Maybe in the morning. I don't know. But after this live stream, I'm going to try to go to bed again. But I'm not too, I don't know. We'll see. Did not see what? But went to see the new Indiana Jones movie. You did? Oh, this was awesome. I want to wait. What do you mean by new Indiana Jones? You don't? Did they make a new movie? Like another one after that whole bullshit with the crystal skulls or whatever? No, I don't know why. I think just sometimes like there's like this certain part of the middle of the night where I feel like I just get restless. Like if I'm not asleep by like 11 or 12, then sometime between like 12 and 3 or 4 a.m., I get restless and it'll wear off and then I'll lay down and I'll pass right the fuck out, usually just as the birds are starting to chirp or some shit. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like if I'm not already asleep, then I gotta just sit it out. You still feel fighting the Nazis at 80. Well, of course. I mean, Indiana Jones. Yeah, I think that might be it, Irish. We are kind of weird. Yeah, I think about it. That might make sense because that's usually right around we start closing and shit. I'm usually, even on a busy night, I'm usually out of there by like 3 a.m. or so. So I wonder if my body's just now conditioned to that being the like, all right, crunch time, let's hurry up and get the shit done kind of thing. I don't know. Oh, fucking Sound of Freedom. Yeah. What I think is freaking hilarious about Sound of Freedom is that movie was pitched like without this whole like narrative or whatever of this hero guy being a real person and shit. Like it was pitched in Hollywood like years ago. In fact, it sat around for years before it was finally completed and shit. Oh yeah, don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. All right, I'm gonna play a little bit more of the stream.
Trust my ears that that's her. Oh, I can trust mine.
Oh, it's her. We said that earlier. It's her on that blog, that interview, whatever it was with Milo, for
I think
sure.
it was an interview. Yes, ma'am.
We
Yeah.
don't call everyone else out by their legal name, that girl. We don't do it.
I
ever.
didn't say we do. I said we go balls.
That's
to
why
balls with
the
everybody
if.
else, but not this.
That is why the if. No one is going to say, yes, I 100% know that this is her except for you. And if you want to do that, you do you. It's wrong.
No,
What's
it's not
that?
wrong to confirm what I heard with my own ears online. It's not. It's wrong for her to lie about it, but that's cool if y'all are cool with it. But it's
No,
not wrong.
you're allowed to
I
have
didn't
your
dox
opinion,
anybody.
girl, for
I
sure.
would never dox anybody.
I didn't come up here and call her by that name. I'm saying, why are we going to pretend like we didn't hear what we heard? Just because
Well,
everybody likes her doesn't mean
see, here's the thing. You take a situation like this here, okay? I don't think that Heels in the Air, even before this whole like racist shit, whatever was found out, I don't really think that she had any right or any right to an expectation of privacy on her name, just her name. That's it. Even before that, I mean, she was a content creator. She was essentially, to some degree, a public figure here on the internet. So in the second that she started making videos on people, and I call it talking shit about people, because it's talking shit. That doesn't mean, I know how some people will hear that and they'll take that as like talking negative shit, or just talking like starting shit, or you know what I mean? Like doing so in such a combative way. I don't mean it like that. I mean, we're just talking crap about someone else. We're talking about things that we don't know. We haven't verified. We don't know to be fact or whatever. We're talking about these things about someone else. That's talking shit, right or wrong. Whether the shit we're saying is right or the shit we're saying is incorrect is not the point. It's talking shit. And that's what I mean. I talk shit. If you're in commentary channel, you're talking shit. So if you're going to sit there and talk shit on a public platform, on your channel, on a place where you have, potentially like thousands of viewers and shit, then I feel like the person you're talking about, I feel like you really should expect your name to get out there at some point. And I don't necessarily support the name being put out there or the person being doxxed or whatever, any shit like that. But I don't condemn the name being known either. Anything other than the name, fuck yeah, I condemn. You don't need to. That's not applicable. So you don't need to know this shit. You don't need to know their family names. You don't need to know where they work. You don't need to know what school their kids go to. You don't need to know any of this shit to hold that person accountable for shit that they're saying, or to face your accuser or whatever. It has nothing to do with anyone else or their job. But to know their identity, because they're coming for your character. How is it fair if you can't even know their character? How is that right? And I say this knowing that this all applies to me too. However, I don't really hide my information, so I don't really care. But I can appreciate that, but still.
she should be called out differently than everybody else. And
No, you're right.
if that to you means you have to use a real name to do that, that's on you. I'm not telling you that. I don't think that's true. I think it can be done without doing that. But to pretend like this isn't what it is just because everybody likes her, and I don't hate her at all. I feel sorry for her because this has got to suck. But when you lie, it's what happens.
Okay, so when you were answering the question like Joneson did, what would you use instead of if? Perhaps.
You repeat the exact question again, please, so I don't respond.
Yeah. Actually, I think maybe I should play that. But fuck, what stream was that? I think it was a stream from today because I commented on it. I think, or I know I did in a live chat, but I think that's, fuck, who was it? All right, let me go to my history. Yeah, she's okay. So I didn't even read the comment. The comment that's bringing me now to where I'm going is Irish Badass's comment. It says, you can see that blog content. It's bad, real bad. She tripled down on it too. Unreal. She was talking about it. I think it was in a stream today. Let me go to my history. Let's see here. Oh, that might be it. Yeah, that is. Okay, so I think it was Burnt Toast's channel here. Let's see. Toast reviews, what's wrong is wrong, even when it's someone we liked. Maybe not. No, this can't be it. No, because what's her face was up on panel. Like, all right, shut up. Let's see here. My computer is moving slow as fuck. All right. Oh, here it is. Nope, this is it. All right, I got it. There's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So it was Forgotten Whispers. All right, that's right. Now I remember. And it was from 1 day ago, it says. So I don't know. Yesterday, maybe July 21st. Yeah. All right. So let me forward ahead. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay, so this caught my attention really when I was watching earlier. I mean, I really think she believes a lot of, she stands firmly by the things she has said and done, the impressions she has, and the content she has put out over the years. Because while up on this panel, you have some of the assholes or whatever in there, no doubt, whatever. But there's also a lot of people who genuinely just want some fucking answers. Like, they don't understand. They don't know. They want to hear. And she doesn't owe anyone anything, I don't think. She can be as much of an asshole as she wants to be, whatever. But for someone to just keep arguing with the people in this community as though there's a chance she could win these arguments, and she's perfectly happy to continue the argument, and she must feel like she has every right to be heard. For someone who's of these beliefs, who can't for 1 second listen to those around her, who are very, very politely, I might add, just trying to get through to her, not necessarily to change her mind, but for her to just understand their mind, she's not having it. She just won't listen, and it's kind of alarming. Okay. So yeah, this is from Forgotten Whispers. Heels live review, burnt toast response. None you asked the hard questions.
Do the entire case. Okay. Hey, Chris.
All right, I
Rihanna.
just have a couple of
Yes,
questions for
Lauren,
you, Heels, and I'll hop down. I'm sure there's a million people who want to get
Her
up here,
toast
but
is really hurt. Yes.
there are allegations that you only covered the crimes of Black people because you're racist.
Yes.
Can
But
you?
I didn't only cover crimes by Black people. Like I said, I was on Web Sleuth for years. In fact, even before that, we were doing the JonBenet Ramsey. That's when I started. I'm not covering cases, but that's when I got into, I knew the JonBenet Ramsey case like the back of my hand. For 10 years, I was on that. And there were other cases in between. Plus, I had a job.
Okay, so where is it? And anyone that's dunking on Heels is doing for the cloud clicks and views, etc. Are you saying that if anyone's talking shit about her, they're doing it for clicks and views? Because I was doing it long before this. So, and I got some attention for doing it, sure, but it wasn't the kind of attention I wanted, if you know what I mean. So I don't think I'm doing this for clout by any means. Oh yeah, she would absolutely take a hit for this, but I mean, doesn't mean she's going to go away. No, and understand, I'm not calling for her cancellation. I won't call for someone's cancellation, and especially if what they've done to offend everyone isn't illegal. It's sure. I may find much of it morally wrong, and I'm sure other people do, but that's my morals. That's not everybody else's morals. And then I have no right to assert my morals on anyone else. So I'm not calling for anyone's cancellation, nor will I. And in the absence of like actual illegal activity, anyways. And even that's a lot of the illegal activity I'm not gonna fucking call for cancellation over. Like, well, whatever. Anyway. So, but I think she's got to expect to get criticized. She has to expect that. If she doesn't, then she's lying to herself and very poorly. You can say and you can do anything you want. Sure, you have the right, but you don't have a right to tell everyone to not react, causing you consequences. So that's kind of entitled if people think that they can just do and say whatever they want and nobody has a right to feel a certain way about it. That's a consequence, you know? So I don't think she'll fail. This is going to be one hell of a hit. Yeah, I don't think she'll fail. I think she's got the people in her community who have been her friends, even still at this moment, they would love to see some sort of remorse from her, regret, any evidence that she's changed since 10 years ago or whatever. Like they're starving for it. So for that reason alone, I don't think she's gonna just be done. Okay.
So, but yeah, I covered, it seems like that's really all you could without getting into, it just seemed like if you said anything that was against the narrative, you were.
All right, so I don't think it's me because when I was watching this earlier, I think it was kind of blurry. So is it just that is Forgotten Whispers like just blurring out this original stream or something? I'm just curious because like I don't like the fact that I can't really read the names. Like, yeah, sure, we all know who Heels in the Air is there, but like I can't read the other names.
On the Kanika Jenkins case, and I thought in the Kanika Jenkins case. So I was told unceremoniously, go to the blog. And so I did. And then I stopped and went back to watching, reading, and talking about other cases.
What?
So you started the blog so you could be more free to discuss the issues that you wanted to talk about.
Because I was free to show other evidence and not be talked over. All I said was there was a picture. This is a picture of him at 17. And I was called a racist. But how was that racist? So that was the beginning of you can't say anything at all because you can't discuss it honestly. And so
was that the photo? That was the photo of him with.
Hey, Law Nerd, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, I'm actually really kind of confused and disappointed in her life today. I don't know.
So,
like, I get it when you get called out on something. I get it. It must be hard. It must be, you get nervous, you get scared, you get whatever, right? But to like just not take accountability for it, and I mean,
I'm curious though, whose stream is this that she's commentating on? Is there a link, Ian? No, there's links to channels. That's it, huh? And she didn't pin a poster or whatever with the link in it. All right, I'd like to know whose stream that is that she's commentating on.
I got out of this was like that she kind of she just pointed the finger at other people, which is really sad because like I think we just all expected a little bit more from her. Yeah, law nerd, very, very true. Very true. She didn't really want to. Hello, everybody. Hey, Paul, how are you?
I forgot.
With no shirt on.
This person whose live stream I'm playing right now, she just likes to talk a lot about anything but the live stream.
Shooting the figure or whatever.
Are we talking about? We're talking about Trayvon.
Trayvon,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
That was my first case. What were you talking about?
I thought I was getting them confused, but I remember that there was a photo of Trayvon and he was sitting down. He had a white shirt on, and I think he could have been smoking weed. And people kept passing that around saying he wasn't this innocent kid.
No, that wasn't the one. It was really early. And I think it might have been a Facebook. Somebody got it from it. It wasn't that. Those all were like filtering out later, but it wasn't that.
So why did you show the whatever picture it was? What was it in regards to?
Because they had the
Yeah, I think Queen is okay too. She made a post today. If anybody didn't go see it, then
Yeah, in this room, for example, heels in the air, like they end up asking her about why you said that. I think we already heard the question, a little bit of it, but it gets asked more directly soon. But she gets asked, like, why is it that her blog just really talked about people of color in these crimes, and therefore when she talked about these families and living through whatever tragedy it was, she would then speak as if it's the parents' fault or whatever. And she did this with like a lot of these true crime news stories, and they were all pretty much Black families. Until there was some little, or I don't know if it was a little white missing girl or someone was white and missing. We'll leave it at that. And then she says that, well, yeah, I covered that one because I think, what did she say? I knew the woman or something. So she gives that answer as though it's going to explain the thoughts or the accusations being levied against her away, when in actuality, they confirm it. Because she's saying that she chose to only really cover these situations that involve Black families. And the only reason why she covered that one situation that involved, a white family, she only did it because she knew the person. It was like a personal favor. But when it came to her actual job, that was her actual job, was posting shit about, people of color. That's how it sounds to me anyways. Come
on. Go have a look. She wrote a really good post. So yeah. I did hear something about hospice. I can't remember what it was though. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Genty. That's because I'm boring the shit out of you.
So yeah, that sounded to me like Heels in the Air is now making the claim that she's under hospice care. I don't know what for. I don't know how that came about. I don't know anything about it. I don't need to know. It's not really my business or anything. I do hit my doubts, but again, what do I know?
I hope you have a really good sleep when you do fall asleep, honey. Thank you for coming in and hanging out. Okay, let's keep running.
14-year-old Trayvon in front of the apartment community.
I see.
Yeah, trying to say.
Okay, my purpose for showing this is I just kind of want you guys to pay attention to how she answers. I'm not sure that anybody actually really got an answer from her from asking these questions and stuff. So just kind of pay attention to that. That's kind of what I'm looking at myself, is that she just really does never answer a question. And I just, it's so disappointing. I mean, I loved Heels. She's one of the first channels that I followed. I have her on my channel as a recommended channel. She's, I don't know. It's sad. It's really sad. It's really sad.
He was a little boy just walking through the community, and this man shot him. And then there were,
I'm sorry, but isn't a 14-year-old a child?
Yes, and he wasn't 14.
How
He was 14.
Yeah, I wish I had more evidence, because we can't go see. I
That kind
tried
of
so many
annoys me.
times to Google her site.
I don't think, I think whatever case or whatever they're talking about, I don't think that the person was actually 14 at the time they were taken out or whatever, but I want to say it was 17, but I could be wrong. But either way, both ages I think are representative of a minor, or at least pretty damn close to it. So
her blog, and it's not there anymore. So, damn it. I really wanted to go over and have a look at that, but I do have some videos that where some people show some stuff, so we'll go over those and talk about that, what we do see, and stuff like that. Hey, Six Up, how are you? I was in your live earlier, actually. I actually do have your live, I think, pulled up, and I was going to go over a little bit of it too if we have time. If not, then I'll do it tomorrow. Excuse me. I'm confused about the hospice statement. Yeah, something said there was a mention of hospice. I was like, what actually these people, why did she do that? Why she decided for before. So it's kind of sad. It's
If anyone knows what stream she's commentating to, I'll go right straight to that stream.
very sad for the ones that she's really good at.
So they were trying to run the narrative that George Zimmerman, who I didn't know, if you even watch me at all on here, I don't even have to like you to defend you if someone's lying about you or if someone's making allegations. And in the beginning, I had no idea. I just know it didn't sound right. The first thing I remember, wait, where am I going? Trayvon. I remember hearing the scream and them saying a little boy was shot, and I was beside myself. Started looking into it, and it didn't make sense. So it just went from there. But you couldn't talk about that case without controversy. I just wanted to talk about it. I wanted to put out my truth, and some of these things, in retrospect, probably looked racist. I can see that in retrospect, and I apologize for that. But in my heart, it wasn't anything about Trayvon Martin, any of their race. It was about
Let's live stream
starting riots based on a lie and him wanting to make whatever settlement, the housing association or whatever. This one was actually about the stand your ground laws. That's why that he wanted that one to blow up so much. But anyway, that's why.
Sally, if you want to send that to me, I'm definitely going to be like trying to dig for anybody that has screenshots of the blog that she has, just like so that I can show it and we can go over it truthfully, with reading exactly what she wrote instead of hearing, oh, somebody told me this, it was in there or whatever. I don't want to. I don't of course don't want to do that, right? So if anybody has anything
Let's see here.
like that, then Burnt Toast is posting some of it. Yes, I did see that too. I have her I have her live pulled up so that we can go over it a little bit. Yeah, so you have a lot.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
BT is posting. Okay. Well, if you feel like you would like to send anything to me, yes, Six Up. Thank you. I will meet you. Awesome. 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 One of my mods can put my email in the chat for you. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, let's keep going with this.
It was Ben Trump. And every case he got, it was this.
Okay, now we can listen to the stream without listening to what's her face is interrupting it every 5 seconds and talking forever. Which hey man,
the beginning, and you can't say anything.
She has every right to do it.
It's
all great content. I'm not knocking her or whatever. It's just I don't really care to hear her thoughts about it right now. That's all.
You can't discuss it honestly. And so
was that the photo? That was a photo of him with the no shirt on.
No, it was a different. He had a white shirt, I think. No, it was just a picture. He looked handsome because he was handsome, but he was just sitting there. I think he had a white shirt on. There were pictures of him with no shirt on, shooting the figure or whatever.
Are we talking about? We're talking about Trayvon. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That was my first case. What were you talking about?
I thought I was getting them confused, but I remember that there was a photo of Trayvon and he was sitting down. He had a white shirt on, and I think he could have been smoking weed. And people kept passing that around saying he wasn't this innocent kid.
No, that wasn't the one. It was really early. And I think it might have been a Facebook. Somebody got it from it. It wasn't that. Those all were like filtering out later, but it wasn't that.
So why did you show the whatever picture it was? What was it in regards to?
Because they had the 14-year-old Trayvon in front of the apartment community.
I see.
Yeah, trying to say he was a little boy, just walking through the community, and this man shot him. And then there were.
I'm sorry, but isn't a 14-year-old a child?
Yes, and he wasn't 14.
See here, they're right there. Like, okay, I believe that the age in which the person they're talking about in this situation, I believe that the actual age was 17. To which I say, so the fuck what? I mean, even if he's like at 17, they're technically considered to be an adult. So fucking what? So what? So what?
He was 14.
Hello?
So they were trying to run the narrative that George Zimmerman, who I didn't know, if you even watch me at all on here, I don't even have to like you to defend you if someone's lying about you or if someone's making allegations. And in the beginning, I had no idea. I just know it didn't sound right. The first thing I remember, wait, where am I going? Trayvon. I remember hearing the scream and saying a little boy was shot, and I was beside myself. Started looking into it, and it didn't make sense. So it just went from there. But you couldn't talk about that case without controversy. I just wanted to talk about it. I wanted to put out my truth, and some of these things, in retrospect, probably.
Yeah, people didn't want to hear the victim get blamed for their own murder. It's not that people didn't want to talk about it. From what I recall, people talked about a shit ton about that case, and probably some of them probably still do. People want to talk about it. People are kind of, they need to talk about it. So it's not that they don't want to talk about it. They just don't want to hear they don't want to hear the victim being spoken of in such a hateful manner from someone who's blaming the victim.
He looked racist. I can see that in retrospect, and I apologize for that. But in my heart, it wasn't anything about Trayvon Martin, any of their race. It was about Benjamin Crump starting riots based on a lie, and him wanting to make, whatever settlement, the housing association or whatever. This one was actually about the stand your ground laws. That's why he wanted that one to blow up so much. But anyway, that's why it was Ben Crump. And every case he got, it was the same story. Hands up, don't shoot. Then Kendrick Johnson, they sent him to school with a book bag. He came home in a body bag. I mean, he's always got a slogan. And
I'm sorry, I have my ear pod in, and I have I don't know, one of my devices set up to where Siri will talk in my ear to tell me what the notification is. And I just got a notification for the Twitter thread or the admin chat. And so Megan had sent a message, but the voice in my head telling me who it is to send a message, they say the name of every single emoji you have in your name. They say your name and then the name of every flower that therefore follows it. So I hear Twitter notification from, and it says your handle, and then it says goes into just all kinds of flowers. Oh, that's such a pleasant notification. It's funny though.
how anybody can look at that and think he cares about the cases, I don't know. There's a lot of cases.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be rude, I won't be rude because that's just
No,
the
you're
type of
fine.
person I am. But looking at I won't be.
How anybody can look at that and think he cares about the cases, I don't know. There's a lot of cases.
What?
Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be rude,
I don't know. There's a lot of cases.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be.
Slogan, and how anybody can look at that and think he cares about the cases.
Oh, the
I don't know.
cases. Okay.
There's a lot of cases.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be rude, I won't be rude because that's just
No,
the
you're
type of
fine.
person I am. But looking at the pictures of the people on the panel, it looks like I'm the only Black person up here, and I don't know how
make
many.
it that way.
No. I'm just saying that.
What the fuck? Why would you say that? Why would you say you want him? Okay. Considering what this discussion panel is about, I'm of the belief that you would want to hear from the Black community much more than you'd want to hear from the fucking white community. So when one of the people on your panel is just simply pointing out that, listen, I'm the only person here, I'm the only person here on panel who's Black. And she's saying that is to come at this from a sense from maybe I have some sort of insight here I can offer you on this discussion. Let me talk. But Yilson here is just like, I didn't make it that way. Like, what?
I am speaking for personal experience. I'm not speaking from someone who has watched television or talked to other people in order to form an opinion. I have lived this life.
Okay.
And let me begin. And I apologize because I'm going to take a moment to give my background because I'm not just someone who's pulling stuff out of my ass.
You don't
So
have to.
I just want to, I want to. So I'm Black. I'm 43. My dad was in the military. I grew up on military bases. My great-great-grandparents were enslaved. My great-grandparents were the first generation to not be enslaved. I have their pictures. I have their names. I know my grandmother. I know my uncle who was lynched for voting in Georgia.
Holy shit.
Me, myself, I went to college. I have a degree in history. My bachelor's is in history, U.S. history. I have a law degree. I studied critical race theory before everybody heard about critical race theory.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a master's in race, ethnicity, and conflict studies. I wrote my master's thesis on Black American participation in the Tea Party movement back in 2013.
I would love to read that. I want to read that. I bet that that's a fascinating read.
I watched Mike Brown's body on the ground for hours when that case occurred. I knew people in Ferguson who were on the street marching, who were there trying to advocate for his mother. And I started to participate in rallies from Chicago to Seattle. I'm based here in Seattle, down to Olympia, down to Portland. When people are talking about CHOP and all these other cities that were burned to the ground, guess what? I was there on the ground. I've been shot with rubber bullets. I have been pepper sprayed, pushed by cops.
What the fuck, man? I'm reading this chat over here. Like, people are giving a shit for talking about race. Like, why?
I have been on the ground. So I'm speaking again as someone who has not only the education, but the personal experience to back this up. And I guess for me, when I see a live labeled accountability, what I, and I'm just speaking bluntly, expect to hear is, I made these statements. I was wrong for making these statements without having all the full facts. In the 10 years since I was made those statements, I have grown as a person and as a creator. And this is how I will handle these types of situations going forward.
See, now you hear, like, you hear someone from the Black community spelling it out for Heels, spelling it out, like word for word, telling her exactly how she can come out of this, like ahead almost, like saying how she can shut all this down, saying how she can just appease the masses that have been coming for her, basically. That's a huge gift, I think, for someone in Heels' position. And that's definitely that's a huge gift to be getting from someone in the Black community at this time. I don't know, man. I think Heels should have been most appreciative of this and really tried to listen to what she was saying and others were saying and try to take it in. You know, because like she's already tried. She's failed miserably at trying to convince everyone of where she's coming from, of her point of view or whatever. She's failed miserably at that. So at some point in time, you have to stop and ask yourself, maybe I'm failing because I'm wrong.
I give grace to people.
Okay, wait, let me stop you there just for a second. When you say
he stops, oh my God,
I made these statements, what, just like in particular, a statement about Michael Brown, which statement that I feel differently about? You're saying now that I've seen the facts?
Well, one of the things that what I'm still trying to get clarification on is I saw a video made by the churches, and they pulled up multiple blogs from the past, and they showed how the names in the websites and URLs have all changed over that course of time, except for the name of the video. What they linked to were video or tweets
from my blog
or someone's blog. I can't remember the exact name, but they connected it to you. So if that is not the case, I guess that's why I'm here, because I was hoping for you to say that's wrong, that I didn't post that, because I saw tweets where you have images of Black men with sagging pants, and you're talking and making references that they're, or not you, but whoever is behind that tweet made references about sagging pants and being gay and other comments like that. That's what I'm speaking about. These memes, these tweets, these posts. I get it. People have strong opinions about George Zimmerman. I certainly do. Trayvon Martin, I certainly do. Again, I'm Black.
Okay, I'm going to stop you again just for a second.
Yeah, okay.
That
oh my God, dude, you're talking with the community over the offenses you have caused against other people over racism, and the one person who's kind enough from the Black community to come up on your panel and to fucking spell it out for you. The only thing you can think to do is just let me interrupt you right there. Come on.
Meme, I honestly don't remember doing that meme. Was that a retweet or was that a tweet? I don't remember.
It was a tweet.
Either way.
No, I'm just saying
You're
I don't
right.
remember doing, like, literally making it, because I'm not good at making memes, but yeah. I don't know at the time what was happening, but yeah, I didn't see anything about, I don't know. I apologize for that either way. Either
See, as you heard her say just there, and she reiterates this a little bit more, but she says, I didn't make them, or ends up kind of concluding this. She didn't make the meme. So therefore she can't really remember the meme because she didn't make the meme. So it must've been like a share or retweet or something. So yeah, I guess if that's the case, yeah, I could see how people were offended by it. And for that, yeah, I guess I'm sorry. You know, it's just, I don't even remember doing it. Like, that's a bullshit apology. That's the thing that people want the most when they ask for an apology or demand an apology or whatever, is they want people who are witnessing, they want them to bear witness to the slight against them, acknowledge that it happened. You know, you can argue the merits of it or whatever, the legality of it, whatever you want. But if you can't even acknowledge the fact that it happened, then nothing else is going to follow, you know? And it's like, by her giving that apology, she's not acknowledging what she did or that this was done even, you know, just, I don't know.
either way, because right now that I will agree, that looks racist and
Damn it.
I guess homophobic. I'm just going to apologize for it. I'm not going to make excuses.
Thank you. That and again, speaking individually, that's what accountability needs to be. I know I have changed. I know 10 years ago I had specific feelings about.
Yeah, over here in the chat, Georgia Mom, you don't remember, but you apologize. Yeah, see, that's the thing. No one's going to take the apology as sincere or is anywhere near enough if you don't even acknowledge that you remember it.
People identified as transsexual, right? Trans men, trans
Right,
women.
but-
I work on that. I am a work in progress, but I will acknowledge that I have said things in the past and that I am working to improve myself so that I can be helpful in the next phase or in the future when someone else is being oppressed. I have been the victim of the oppression, and so I do not want to willingly inflict oppression on someone else. So that again is accountability. That's what accountability is.
Yes.
So
okay, as far as the gay, all that part of it, I will not take. That's what I'm saying. I don't know that it said. I don't know what it implied, but I am.
It said that if Black guys are sagging their pants, it came from a prison culture where when you sag your pants, you're saying you're available.
Which is that true? I don't know, but
No. it's
okay.
not.
Well, I think now that's why I'm trying to remember. But if that's what it said, if I did it, I promise you, I'm not homophobic. I'm not going to tell my personal life, but I will take accountability for that. As far as it,
I call bullshit on that altogether because obviously it's bullshit. I mean, I think we can all agree to that on that. But I call bullshit that you didn't know it was bullshit when you posted that meme, because if that were true, okay, if that claim were in fact true, then why would people be wearing saggy pants and stuff when they're no longer in prison? Why would it be something that they're wearing about all over the street, all over work, all over school even, okay? Why would that be such a big thing if it was just to show your availability while in prison? And also, I mean, why wasn't this meme made with any white people with the sagging of the pants and whatnot? Why? I mean, I would think that if it were true across prisons, it would be true across the board in prisons, not just like the Black communities in prison. It'd be true across prisons, right? So why not show that with other people from prison? No, it's because it was shared because you knew exactly what that was depicting, and that's why you share it. You shared it. That was the intended goal.
looks racist, and it could look homophobic to people as well. But that I won't take at all. I mean, there's not one thing anyone could see ever that I've said that's homophobic, nor am I homophobic. But now that I've thought long and hard about this, if that's the perception, I cannot take that from you or anybody. That's your perception. I can only say, I'm sorry, because I admit here 10 years later or 9 years later, that would look racist and frankly homophobic to me. And I apologize if that has hurt anyone. As far as Michael Brown, you said, I've learned facts. I'm still, Michael Brown, I mean, what was his name? Darren Wilson? All the facts were there. And I think with that one, the hands up, don't shoot. Anybody being, I mean, it was horrible. Any murder is horrible. It's just all the destruction and fear and amping people up. And you as a protester, you're on the ground hearing all this. You're not looking at anything else.
No. That again, I started with my educational background.
Yes, I know.
I wrote a dissertation, and I actually went to Tea Party conventions, meetings. I have done ethnographic studies. I have been on the ground to study, read, and do that work. But
you know the witnesses lied, right?
Which witnesses?
The witnesses in my. I really don't want to redo this. We can do that on another fly.
Well,
in fact, why don't we do that? Why don't we come back at a different time, and we'll talk about that case because you do know it. And I would like to talk about it.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't want to revisit that because the point I'm trying to bring up is that there were comments about cities burning to the ground. Name one.
I think you might be honest. I'm Irish.
Okay. That was a bigger speech with Ferguson.
Okay. So
there were Black business owners.
So, because I noticed in the comments there, you said, where'd it go? She has selective amnesia until you tell her that she's wrong about something. Then her ginkgo biloba kicks in. I think you're right. I think that the second she's told she's wrong, she suddenly, it's like she can't help but to argue herself right. Regardless of how harmful her even having that argument could be to her image. It's the wrong thing. It's being wrong that she can't live with. She'd rather look like a racist than be wrong, than to just let it go that she's wrong. It's kind of crazy. So I also saw someone in the chat say, where'd it go? I've just Googled where it started. It started in a prison. Yeah, I'm real. I would love to know what source it is you're using because I Googled it too. And yeah, no, in fact, I'm finding all kinds of shit saying, yeah, it's claimed that that's where it started from, but it's really not where it started from. And even still, like the claim of it starting in prisons is that there can be a lack of appropriately sized clothing in prison. So you kind of, you wear what you can get your hands on, I guess, in a sense. And belts are not allowed in prison because, people do stupid shit with belts in prison. So oftentimes their pants would sag. So yeah, I mean, it's not so much a fashion trend as it is a fashion settlement, really, because you're basically wearing, but you're settling for whatever you can wear. There's all kinds of shit though here to talk about it. What the hell? That's all right. I want to read that afterwards. Okay.
Crying on TV saying, please
point
stop.
out that there were riots after the Super Bowl. There were riots after the NBA championship. Oh, absolutely. And there were riots in Toronto after the Maple Leafs got departed in the playoffs. People rioted for ridiculous reasons. It is not something that is limited to Black people. Now, Martin Luther King once said, I just want to finish this. I'm sorry, I know this is your panel, but I just want to finish this. Martin Luther King says that a riot is the voice of those that are unheard. And that is what gets people to listen. When you start breaking windows,
I understand
breaking
that.
cars, the news comes down very quickly to watch and see and report. Now, I think many of us in here can agree that when it comes to the news, many of them have their own agenda. They are making a profit. They have to show and gain audience one way or another. I think we can agree on that. But when they go into these communities, into these marches that I have personally been on the ground at, again, I have been on the ground at, they're only there for like 5 to 10 minutes, getting the shot of the window that is being broken, and then
Oh,
they're
yeah.
leaving.
I
They're
understand.
not there to talk to people like me, or they're not there to talk to the people, to the old elderly white man who's pushed by the police and whose head is struck and he's now bleeding. They don't stop to talk to those people. They just get their sound clip, their 5-minute,
Oh,
their
I
image.
remember
of the
that.
window.
I remember that. Where was that? I forget where the riot was for that. But yeah, an elderly, like didn't he end up dying from that, or he something, or he had a stroke or something? Like not immediately after, but I want to say it was like within a week after or some shit like that. But yeah, he was knocked down on the ground and he was hit over the head or something, and just blood was just like coming out of his head. Oh my god, I remember that. Yeah, it might have been Missouri. Jesus. These fucking people in the chat. Please, next guest. Fuck you. Wow. Yeah, I imagine that there's other live streams on it at the same time. They can go watch something else, but Jesus, next guest. Fucking people.
Still being broken, and then they bounce because they don't want to be part of that. So again, I know it's a figure of speech to say that something burned to the ground, but when we're talking about Black violence and the fact that there were cities, Black cities that were burned
There
to the
weren't
ground.
just Black people out there. I didn't say that.
Oh my god.
No,
I said Ben
I'm
Crump.
making the illusion. I'm making the illusion between you saying Ferguson burned to the ground, and then we have the Tulsa riot, which literally burned down a whole Black
Absolutely.
neighborhood and ruined
100%.
businesses because of race.
100%.
When people are rioting, they're rioting because of anger, right?
Right,
When people are
exactly.
looting, they're looting because of anger. They want to
Okay.
express how they feel as an oppressed people, and they
Right.
know doing these extreme acts will get the news coverage, and that's
But
exactly
don't
what
you
happened.
think it should be for a cause that is not
It is.
many?
It is my cause.
Black-
I'm alive.
I'm saying, I didn't say for a cause. I didn't finish. For a cause that will help many people, not that will sue the police department or will sue the school district. If it doesn't have money
Are you kidding me?
involved, then
It is for a cause that will help many people. Does she honestly think that people are out there rioting so that one family can just fucking make bank or something off of this ordeal? That's not what's going on here. And the only reason why like any families at all are even able to successfully sue law enforcement is because of all the actions that have happened leading up to this. It's because of all the lawsuits that failed first. It's because of all the riots. It's because of all the protests. It's because of all the outrage that anyone's even able to successfully sue these law agencies, these law enforcement agencies today. So this is, in fact, a cause that helps a lot of people. I'm curious though, what is it she means by a lot of people exactly? Because it sounds to me like she's like, well, it's not going to help a lot of people across the board. It's not going to help a lot of people of all races. It's just going to help a lot of Black people. Like that's how it sounds to me. I'm not saying that's how it is, but that's kind of how it sounds. Just saying.
just Ben Crump. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying this one particular attorney, and this is just my opinion, that if there's not a way to get money out of it, he's not going to take your case. That's my problem with him. I'm not saying.
Holy shit. It's almost like he lives in a capitalist fucking society or something, right? Holy shit.
For a good cause. I'm saying for all of them would be good causes. If the police is shooting someone with their hands up, walking away, absolutely. But there was a lot to that case, and again, I'll get into it, and I don't want to, but
they're right there. Oh my god. I don't know. I feel like just hearing. I don't know if they're really technically microaggressions or whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure, but like that line right there, like sure, yeah, the police should be sued if they shoot someone who's with their hands up and walking away. But there's so much that went on with this case. So it's like she's saying, yes, in this perfect world or this utopia style like lawsuit, yes, they should be sued. But that's not what happened here. There's a lot of shit that went on with this court or this lawsuit or whatever, this case or whatever, this criminal case. So we're not talking about that. Like I feel like that's what she's saying.
if you would like to talk on it sometime, I would. But on that case, I wouldn't change my mind because it's all in my blog. I mean, everything I collected, the evidence, the grand jury, everything. No, I wouldn't change.
Heels, I'm going to have to jump down shortly, but I just
See, they're right there. Like, I think she really should have that discussion. Heels just was saying her right here. You know, it's all on my blog. Just, you know, basically, I get the impression she's saying go look it up. But I think Heels should go and revisit what it is she put up about this case, because I have a feeling that she's looking back on this thinking just with this impression of this being like a slam dunk case from her point of view, when in actuality that's probably not what happened, and she might want to remind herself of that. I don't know.
just wanted to speak to Krusty's point, and I know I am a white lady, but this is also something I'm extremely passionate about. And the riots, the fighting, the picketing, it is, like she said, out of complete frustration, because it isn't one Mike Brown. It's not one Trayvon Martin. It isn't one person. It's not one George Floyd. It's a whole community of people who aren't heard. So how do you get heard? You have to be heard. And the frustration gets so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And we see it just in the missing children's cases.
Yes.
You know, the blonde, blue-eyed thing, you know, I'm not saying destroy cities or destroy anything, right? But you're always going to have bad actors who are doing these.
But that's to get attention to a
What?
case for an attorney. That's what bothered me the most.
So
Because
Is she saying that people behaved like extreme during the riots just because they wanted to get one attorney's attention? You know, I'm sorry, maybe the Black community who participated in this protest, maybe they were there doing so because they were fed up with the treatment they were being forced to live with. It wasn't for some like nefarious reason of trying to, like, I don't know, get someone's attention like that. I feel.
Can I clarify that as an attorney, you have to be licensed to
I
handle
can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Or
sorry.
you
Can you
can't
hear
keep doing it. You know, I
Can
can't.
you
I'm
hear me?
sorry.
You can't keep doing what? I didn't hear.
The killing. You know,
Yeah.
there was too much. It was just too much, and at some point, it becomes overwhelming
Absolutely.
to the point where somebody's going to listen. You know, there's a thing that
Oh my
Tupac.
God. You see, this is the chat. This is the kind of people that she's giving a platform to. Like, I know she's not responsible for the shit in chat. She's not. But if you're going to sit there on YouTube on a public platform, especially one that has 15,000 subscribers, you have to know that just by being there, that you're giving a platform for people to come and comment on. And I don't believe in removing comments. I'm not saying that she should be removing comments or anything. No, let these comments stay up, because these people are showing their true selves, and don't fucking hide that for them. But I don't know. I just feel like it's something should be said or something by her to show that she doesn't support this thinking or whatever. But I don't think she's gonna. And the comment in particular I'm talking about is where'd it go? Oh, right here. Dreama. But Mike Brown stuff was made up. There was no hands up. Like, fucking A.
Did, where he's making an analogy where he's like, you know, I'm sitting outside the door and I'm hungry and I'm begging for somebody to listen to me, and nobody wants to feed me, and I'm starving. And finally I kick in the door and I say, okay, I'm here now. You're going to listen. You're going to feed me now, because the frustrations become so overwhelming.
I understand that. But in this case,
I feel like at this point, she just I'm expecting Heels to say something like, okay, yeah, I understand that. But in this case, well, there's just no food left because the green silo, caught fire during one of the protests or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it seems like that's how insensitive she's being to this.
The medical examiner that was, they put up the autopsy report or the drawing, and that was bogus. I mean, there was just one thing after the other.
It doesn't even make sense. Like, her response is, well, autopsy report drawing bogus. You know, like that's what it sounds like she's saying.
Trying to make it like he was making a case from that. And so what I'm saying is there are other.
And I'm not knocking any stutter or whatever. Anyone who's listened to me knows that I suffer from the same affliction at times. So it's not even like that.
Legitimate cases, tons of them.
Of course.
But it has to involve certain elements, mostly money, and stand your ground. There wasn't a lot of money, but it was a cause before it gets that kind of attention.
But it isn't fair to, right? It's just not fair to a Mike Brown or a Trayvon to have their case, their specific, before we know all the details, before we know who's lying and who's not lying, to have any judgment put upon these people. And it was purposefully done. I watched it all unfold on social media. Immediately, people were looking for pictures of them throwing up a gang sign, sagging their pants, smoking weed, wearing a hoodie, looking scary. That was immediate.
Right.
That wasn't after the facts came out or after witnesses. After everything, you can say, well, I agree with Mike Brown's killing because this happened and I believe Wilson, or I don't. Well, or you can say you well, that's good. I mean, that's what Tracy was asking you, I think, is like if you agreed with the Trayvon narrative and you said that you do.
See, that's why I think that's why you have to read. I keep hearing people telling me they watched the Dirks. Those were pouring. I mean, I can see if you're just hearing these things, but also on Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown and Kendrick Johnson, there are other victims. There are people they're throwing up there that are getting death threats. They have wanted dead or alive for one of them. So there's also
that's wrong.
I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask the rhetorical question anyways. Like throughout the past 10 years, certainly it hasn't just been, people from the Black community who've been shot, beaten, or otherwise harmed by police officers. It's been people of all races, no doubt, but it does seem to target the people from the Black community, much more. I mean, the data speaks for itself. Okay, but my point is that, sure, it hasn't been just the Black community. So why is it that, like, just now, all the names she listed off, there are only instances of people from the Black community? She's not naming off anyone from any other community, or any other race or whatever. And I think that there's a reason for that. I think it's because, like, the families of those loved ones of the people who were harmed, she believes. She's not interested in debunking anything that they say because, well, she believes them. It's all these other examples that she doesn't believe. And why is that, I wonder?
Can I
Absolutely, that's wrong, but they're alive. They're live victims. Right?
Well, does that make the rest of their lives be ruined because
no
chooses that's going to be the
no? You should let the justice system handle that, but we don't smear Kendrick at the same time because the bellboys are being threatened.
I need to speak up for one of the victims, please.
Sorry.
I never smeared Kendrick Johnson.
No, I'm not saying you did. I'm saying the overall picture is that's what people are seeing because of the memes, because of the words. Exactly. So that's really what needs to be addressed is how do you feel at your core about these victims? Not about Ben Crump. You can explain that after, but how do you feel about
Kendrick? Horrible, because I've had breathing issues and I've had times where I couldn't breathe.
Oh, there's my
to think.
Here's my comment. Can I just suggest that you stop having a discussion and instead just listen and consider all that your guests are saying? They aren't there to be persuaded. You failed at that already. Just listen.
Heels
of him in that gym mat, not being able to get out is horrific for me. It was never about Kendrick or how he died or what kind of person he was. It was about just the way everything went from day one. The president of the NAACP came out right away and said what she said. It was a whole thing. But to this day, they are terrorizing two boys, or they're not boys now, they're men, to the point where they go to engagement parties. It's relentless. And so that was not about Kendrick Johnson. I don't think anybody was saying anything about Kendrick Johnson himself. I think they did. Was it Kendrick Johnson? I don't know. I just know Jackie Johnson lied to you when she said she put that up because of me. She
did not tell me that. I typed that in your chat, by the way. Before I was willing to put anything from that crime scene video out,
Mm.
I contacted both of the parents.
Okay.
And at that point, they said, yes, you can.
Mhm.
Now, I went on to read about the why behind the yes. I knew that they were going to say yes because I'd already seen their statements and I'd already seen them using the poster and all of that. But I still didn't feel comfortable doing it. But no, they've never said to me, yes, you can, because somebody leaked them. No, I just wanted to
I think
clarify
that
that
was
as
Laura,
well.
maybe it was Laura that said that, but that they had been leaked. And that's why they put that out. Because, well, I mean, they're leaked anyway. But that is, I mean, on its face, that was never an autopsy picture. That was taken.
Well, and I'm
by,
yeah, I know which one was taken for the dad, and then which one was on the white sheet, and all of that. And I'm gonna hop down. I'm sure there are other people who want to talk with you or ask you questions. I just wanted to really.
Yeah, I know. I realize I'm playing the stream and everything. I'm paying Heels is, you know, sharing her thought processes or whatever over the years. I don't really want to get into the discussions on these things though, because I feel like everyone who's seen the facts of the matter, they've seen it and they've accepted it. The ones who don't accept it are the ones who don't want to accept it. And it's 2023. We got a little bit of time still before the next presidential election. So I kind of want to just chill for a little bit longer before we start getting into all the racial debates. That's all.
Understand what you felt today. What would you have done differently, and what you really thought about the victims?
I don't think it was ever about the victims. Now, Trayvon Martin, there was so much going on that in that case, boy, it's been really bad for. I mean, yeah, I could see how you would look at that today without any evidence and say that, yeah, that I will agree that you could look at that and say that's racist, but it was not mine. I mean,
mine.
I don't know.
It's not mine. What? They sound a little bit like a Freudian slip there.
Just say that if that's how you feel, I can't take that from you. I can't. And have I changed? Is Dolly actually backstage thinking I'm going to put him up here? Whatever.
I would have dropped down so that Brianna could. I hope that's how you say your name. I apologize if I
Yes,
mispronounce it.
it is.
Because I know you said that you have a connection to one of the victims, and I think I apologize for not.
No, don't apologize at all.
Cressy, I'm so glad you came up here, and I'm
right. So this is not the first time I've heard something mentioned about this. Kira says, I heard her say at one point that she was very active in the Web Sleuths website during all of this time. What's Web Sleuths? Like, is it just like websleuths.com? Like, I don't, it's not the first time I've heard Web Sleuths, so I'm trying to familiarize myself with it. Hey, Southern Girl, I'm sorry you can't sleep as well. Oh, thank you so much for the super sticker, Southern Gal. Got Nat? Okay. Thank you. Oh, wait, did you? No, okay. And I pressed play on the wrong one. Okay.
Love, if you would come back up, we could arrange a time that we can, because your background is so impressive. I would like to talk to you about all of that. I mean, I could learn a lot from you as far as how it's handled on the ground by media and by other people when these protests are going on, what you're hearing. You know what I mean? Like, what are you hearing as opposed to just the general public that gets news bites and they don't really know what's going on?
I was a live streamer, so I actually have videos of all the marches that I participated in. So I don't know how to edit, but if I ever figure out how to do that, I'll upload that. I'm sorry, Brianna, I just want to make one
message board.
And then I
No, you're fine.
But I do want to address the Crump thing, because again, like I said, I have a law degree. I went to law school to become an advocate. So when you go, when you are a lawyer or an attorney, you are licensed in a specific state.
Right.
Right. There's something called reciprocity. So if you are licensed in California and you.
Okay, so I just pulled up. It's websleuths.com actually. I do. So you might not have been talking to me when you said Nat. So my bad. This is very. I didn't know that this site existed. So it's basically like a true crime message board site, kind of like there's Gossip Guru or whatever for like the drama channels. That would be like the equivalent here for the true crime community, I'm guessing. At least that's what it looks like. Huh. I think I might join that site.
Practice there for 5 years. Another state like Colorado will grant reciprocity and allow you to practice in their state if you
Right.
pass their professional ethics exams, things like that. What
Oh,
Benjamin
okay.
County does
So-
is at the invitation of families, and he
Comment says, our curious idea says, Web Sleuths was part of the research true crime for JonBenet Ramsey case. Interesting. Website, Facebook group, YouTube channel. Okay. Oh, that's good. Curious idea says Trish runs Web Sleuths and disavowed Heels for being racist. Yeah. I'll check out the Facebook page and stuff. I think for now I'm going to join the website. I say I'm not a big true crime buff, like kind of person, or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to know all about true crime, really. I don't, let alone talk about it. I get why the other people do, and I understand why they do, because I'm fascinated with the most, deplorable things about us humans as well. Just, I don't know, some things I just don't want to hear about. So, but I get it. Oh yeah, I could see that. Producer Cat. I've used Web Sleuths for news story ideas, not so much specific content, if that makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, I get it. I know absolutely nothing about Summer Wells. How bad is that? I don't know. I don't need to know either. And I know that she was the little girl who is no longer with us, and it's obviously not by her own doing. So yeah, I get all that, but I don't know any of the specifics, and I'm good. Okay, so the website is all about the cases and the whole like true crime aspect of it, none of the drama, or the whole crime aspect, none of the drama from true crime, I should say, because I don't care what anyone from true crime says. Y'all are just as dramatic as every other community on YouTube, because you know what? That's what people are, is fucking dramatic. If you're in a community with people, there's drama, right? So. Yeah, curious idea. That's what I mean. It's like, I don't know about all the behavior and the issues or whatever between the creators regarding the Summer Wells case. I don't know. Like it was years after the fact when I learned about like a lot of that bullshit with the Shanann Watts murder. I've kind of gone out of my way to not be made aware of the same kind of fuckery in any other cases, really. I kind of wish I didn't know about the bullshit with even that case, but yeah, I bet. One of the sites Heels promoted was a supremacist. Well, yeah, what site was that? All right, I'm gonna let this play, but I'd like to know what site that is too.
he cannot represent all these families in all these states because he's not licensed to. Instead, he works with a licensed attorney in that state, working with the family, and he uses his name to bring clout, to bring the media to the case so that they can listen. Otherwise, if people don't say, if it's just regular Joe Schmo, the attorney, people are just going to dismiss that. But when Ben Crump's name does show up, people want to hear what he has to say, even if they disagree with it. They just hate him that much, and he knows that, and he's using that to his the best of his ability. He is a brand. and he
But
has
he
social
gets a
grant.
check.
And
He gets
do you
the
get a
check.
check from? Do you get a check from YouTube?
No,
you get a
I
check?
don't. No, I've never gotten a
you?
check from YouTube.
Okay.
No.
But I know there's plenty of other people
Oh.
on YouTube receive a check.
No, I'm not.
A
I'm not
lot
saying
of
he
people
shouldn't get a
receive a
check at all.
People receive
I
a
didn't
check.
mean
He's been he's been educated. He has put in
Yes, I
decades
know.
of work. He deserves to be paid for his work.
Yeah.
And I will not. I will end with that.
I didn't
say-
follow him much after that because, like I said,
Oh,
George Floyd, I was 100,000%. Somebody said in some chat today that I was against.
all right. So I want to share this for a second. So it was chat. Bill, I said the name of the website. Oh. Wrong one. Okay. So I want to. So it's called American Renaissance. Is the name of the site. I pulled up the article here from the was it Poverty Law Center or something? So the American Renaissance, founded by Jared Taylor in 1990, the New Century Foundation is a self-styled think tank that promotes pseudo-scientific studies and research that purport to show the inferiority of Blacks to whites. It is best known for its American Renaissance magazine and website. Although I don't even know I don't know how to pronounce that word. Highfalutin. Okay. All right. So, although in highfalutin language that avoids open racial slurs and attempts to portray itself as serious scholarship, it is best known for its American Renaissance magazine and website, which regularly feature proponents of eugenics and blatant anti-Black racists. What? Oh, okay. The foundation also sponsors American Renaissance conferences every other year where racist intellectuals rub shoulders with Klansmen, neo-Nazis, and other white supremacists. In its own words, in fact, compared to it, far more likely to. I don't even want to read this shit. This is interesting, though. This shit's all going to be coming up a lot more between now and the presidential election upcoming, like especially with RFK Jr. running for president. Like this is just we haven't even begun yet. Like I am already seeing the mobilization of these anti-government fringe groups. They're all coming together and they're all teaming up with the anti-vaxxers, and they've been doing it. They've been colluding with each other since the end of COVID restrictions, really. But now they're prepared. It's going to be a bumpy ride between now and the election. Okay. But regardless of its calm tone and academic look and feel, the magazine openly peddles white nationalism, and Taylor supports the idea of America as, quote, a self-consciously European majority white nation, which he argues was, quote, the original conception of the U.S. and one that was almost universally accepted until the 1960s. In 2002, for instance, American Renaissance published an article by race scientist Richard Lent. What the hell? What? See, Pioneer Fund. Under the title Race and the Psychopathic Personality, that argued that Blacks, quote, are more psychopathic than whites and suffer from a, quote, personality disorder characterized by a poverty of feeling, Jesus Christ, pathological liar, and so on. After Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans in 2005, magazine up its customary text. This is how the fuck does this shit even become a thing today? I mean, I know how, but you still need people to participate and interact with it for it to be a thing. Why is that happening? What the fuck? New Century Foundation also publishes other works on race, including Taylor's 1992 book, Paved with Good Intentions, which argued that because sterilizing welfare mothers would not be publicly accepted, authorities should instead insert into such women 5-year implantable contraceptives. Since 1994, the New Century Foundation has also played host to American Renaissance conferences, suit and tie affairs that attract a broad spectrum of participants from the racist right, including neo-Nazis, white supremacists, KKK, Holocaust deniers, and eugenicists. Jesus Christ. This is crazy. So she shared, like, where did she have, like, this website posted, if you don't mind me asking? I'm really kind of curious. Oh, the Young Turks covered Zav Girl? No way. The Young Turks, they're alternative media source, I guess. They've been around for a long time now, like what? About as long as YouTube's been around, I think, right? Like they were one of the first channels I ever like subscribed to on YouTube. But they're just a group of like they could be classified as liberal, I guess, but I think most of them are more progressive than anything. They're just a bunch of people that really report on news and politics and such. Like the founder, Cenk, I think that's how you say his name. He used to be a law commentator or whatever. I think it was on MSNBC, and he was just like, he got fed up with it because it was just a bunch of corporate bullshit, and he started his own media company basically. Alex Jones wasn't a part of the Young Turks. I mean, he's been on the Young Turks, but he was never on as a serious guest to like interview and listen to. He was there as someone to like fight with and mock on. Oh, Southern Girl, yeah. See, the site I was just reading right there, like that's I think one of the more extreme ones. And yeah, those are always shocking to hear exist or whatever. But usually you come across like examples of that where it's much more subtle. I know what you meant. Don't worry. I know what you meant. I know you meant existed. You're good. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit more of that, and then I think I might actually wrap this up because I'm starting to get a little tired. Yay. Oh, I'm not sharing that screen anymore.
Or I never at all had a problem. I mean, it was obvious that that was wrong. But I'm just saying in those 3 cases, and then I just gave it up. That was my perception, and it didn't. You can go check out cases that I've talked about with white people. You might not agree with them, but at least people are. I mean, for some reason, it's because the race. I mean, I could be wrong in a lot of cases. I don't know. It's just confusing to me, but I do see if that's how someone perceives it, then I apologize. I can't say I'm not going to be racist anymore because I don't know how. I don't feel that. I mean, I don't
see. I don't think she really cares if she's racist or not, or if it appears to be racist or not. Because if she did, then she would absolutely care to hear if something she did, though maybe not intended to be racist, was received as such. And she would care enough to not want that to repeat itself. So she would listen to what they have to say and try to understand, because you can't stop something from happening if you don't understand how it's happening. But she doesn't do this. and I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I put too many expectations on just, the average person. But I think that if someone told me that something I was doing was racist, rather than argue with them about it, I would want to, first and foremost, stop whatever it is I was doing that was being received as racist. That would be my first priority. Then after that, maybe talk about it. But first, tell me what I'm doing wrong so I can stop it.
Don't talk about any other cases. I haven't. And if you've seen me for 2 years, I don't know how anybody could perceive it that way. I don't know. I'm open.
Thank you for being
Thank you,
willing
Christy, so
to
much.
listen. Thank you for allowing me in this space. I appreciate that. I think
Yeah, I want to thank Christy too for, was this say Christian? Okay, I'm not sure what her name is, Christy or Krusty, but I'd like to thank this woman very much for going up on the panel, and if not so much for trying to explain it to Heels in the Air, but hopefully by her explaining it to Heels in the Air, though, there are people that were listening that learned something or didn't, or I don't know what. Like my listening to it, I took away some realizations, and for that alone, I hope she knows that she did a great service, and I thank her.
there are many things that I will disagree with, and I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely.
And I really look forward to listening to Brianna. Again, I apologize for talking over you, and I appreciate your time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Christy, thank you for coming. Okay, Brianna.
Hey, I was going to have to apologize to you for my neighbor being a jerk off with his stock car, but he turned the engine off at the exact right time. So
thank you.
If he revs it, it's my neighbor. He's
okay.
a jerk. When you were talking about the other victims of the crime, like with Kendrick, with the bellboys being other victims and things like that, I understand there's always collateral victims. And I wanted to tell you about one of the collateral victims of Mike Brown. And that is my son, whose father's name is Brown. He was Michael's cousin. My son is Michael Brown's cousin.
Was he a witness?
No.
Because I know he had a cousin. Oh, no.
No. My son was living over here. We live 100 miles from St. Louis. And
wow.
I got
looking at the chat here, and I'm not calling out anyone, chat. I'm really not. But I can't help but to notice one name in there that I'm kind of shocked to see them like on the wrong side of this argument. And I'm not saying that she's defending Heels so much, but she kind of is. And hopefully that doesn't, not that I'm going to wish for her the same thing she's wished for me. Hopefully she realizes the error of her ways.
Got him from his birth mother. And his birth father was in prison. But he is Michael Brown's cousin.
Mm.
And when the people in this town found out, there were times that I was afraid to let my son walk out my front door. Because of people that I have known my whole life and people that he had known his whole life, who talk an awful lot like those blog posts.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, he was a thug and he was asking for it and he deserved it.
I said he was a thug and he was asking for it?
The word thug was thrown.
Oh my God. Yeah, there's a whole fucking like genre about that. Curious Idea wrote, today I learned Henry Ford wrote a book on being a racist, and I'm still looking for that book that influenced Ford and Hitler. Yeah. He created a town in South America. It was supposed to be like a New America or something kind of town. And it was the laws and shit in this town were just like almost like from the Quaker era. Like there's no drinking, no drugs, no promiscuous sex or some shit like that, or premarital sex. And yeah, and racism like weighed heavily on this town. In fact, the town, some of the buildings and shit are still up, I think. I don't think anyone lives in it anymore, but I think what started his creation of that city though was it was a way to potentially spend less on rubber needed for tires. So he wanted to have a factory or some shit like that down there, and figured it'd be cheaper to do that than to just, keep, I don't know, shipping it from somewhere else. And but they kind of fucked up with how they planted the trees for this or whatever. And then on top of the whole, like, the people who lived in this country just being miserable over this fucking ridiculous town and its rules and shit, it didn't take. Yes, but also the labor unions were organizing in Michigan. It was cheaper. Okay. Brazil and Argentina, rubber barons and natives. Okay. You can say, are you talking about Tiff? I don't know who Tiff is. So I don't think I was talking about Tiff.
Around a few times.
I never called him a thug. If I did,
people that talk the way that law did, they tried to use that kind of, even the logical approach they would use to justify their hatred, and they do.
okay, I'm not those people. And if I said
You kind of are.
I apologize, because
this right there, though, should tell you something. You're being lumped in with all of these people. You are now being asked to pretty much answer for those people. So just because you don't have any recollection of you kind of pushing the same kind of narrative as these people, quote unquote, doesn't mean that you didn't, in a sense. So at least people see you as having done that. That should bother you.
I think that I know that he wasn't innocent in I think there was a store incident or something. The thing with Mike Brown was the hands up, don't shoot, that was started as a slogan, and that wasn't true. And there was a witness that said he saw that. And so there began all of it. I mean, news people, everybody, I mean, basketball games, people were putting their hands up, and it wasn't true. So I don't know about all that, about other people and what other people said and how other people viewed it. I know I was getting like court documents. I don't even know where I was getting all my stuff, but I was getting evidence, and it turned out that there was no indictment. I know everybody says it's a big cover up and all the police and all of that, but there was evidence, so they had a fake ME, a guy that wasn't even an ME doing the autopsy report. So, but as far as going against a victim like that,
a lot of that,
I don't know.
a lot of this just sounds like misinformation shit that was spread. I mean, I don't recall ever hearing about this shit before, but I mean, that doesn't mean that it's not. I don't know. It just everything she's saying just sounds like, I don't know, like PR tactics or something.
He said, yeah, he was in that store incident, I think right before it happened, and he didn't have his hands up. When we're talking about cases with white people, if I call them a name or I say their background is this or that, then it's different. I don't understand that. And I'm not saying I did. I'm just saying it just seems so different that I would have to walk on.
Yeah. So Robin says Heels renewed her domain name for Renews It, her blog site, 19 days ago. She says she doesn't care about her blog anymore. Then why renew? Yeah, I have to agree with that. Because whatistheharm.com is our website. And though I haven't renewed like the actual full like domain name as that, like right now it's published or posted under the URL whatistheharm.weebly.com, so it's being hosted, I guess you could say. But if I know if I was hosting it myself or something like that and I had to renew it, I would never let that site go, at least not anytime in the near future, because I still very much care about that site. And I'm still very proud of some of the shit on that site. So yeah, but if it was something I wasn't, then I would want to distance myself from it. So I definitely would not be renewing my right to the domain name, So yeah, if she renewed that shit 19 days ago, it's because she wants to keep it still to this day for some reason. And I don't think it's to remind herself just the error of her ways, if you know what I mean. Hmm. Okay.
On eggshells to talk about this case or talk about that case. And all the other cases, it's fine. Look at what they do to Don and Candace. That's perfectly fine. JLR gets over there and look at everybody's background.
Not perfectly fine.
Yeah, I don't think it is, but you know,
It's not.
See, and this is the thing though. If you are going to say some fucked up shit about people on a public platform as though you're media and you have like media sites called Renews It, then people are going to want to know your character, especially if the shit you're putting out doesn't support it. If you're not putting out anything evidence to support the things you're saying, people are going to want to know how reliable you are. The only way they can know that is if they know who the fuck you are. So again, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people won't agree with this, but if that's what you're doing online, I don't think you have a reasonable right, or I don't think that you have a right to any expectation regarding your privacy, because I mean, people who sit there and do these things like are talking all the kinds of shit about people with no evidence or whatever, and are then whining that they are having to be held accountable for the things they said, or at least just even questioned, not even accountability, just questioned on it. And they have to know who to question. Those who are bitching about that, just, you're not entitled to that, I don't think. My opinion. But all right, on that note though, I think I'm going to wrap this up because I'm getting tired. Oh, good. She's not on hospice. Okay, because that kind of bothered me. I never heard her say that she was, so I'm not going to just sit here and assume that got around because she herself lied about it. I hope that's not the case, but either way, I don't give a shit. I'm glad to hear that's not true. So, all right, guys, have a good night. Technically it's Saturday, so I'm going to be streaming tonight. I get out of work in the evening, so I should be good. Oh yeah, I did see that feeling kind of breezy. So yeah, Critical K apparently owes what, $500,000. That's a judgment, a default judgment that was ruled against her. Oh man, that's crazy. I do it. I don't feel bad for her. I mean, it can't be a good feeling to know that you owe that money, to know that that's money. If you, whatever you pay towards what you owe, that's money that's your family's not going to see. And I feel for her there, but it's almost like she wanted this. I don't want to say that it's almost like this is the outcome she wanted, almost, because she did everything to ensure that this was the outcome she got. Yeah, I heard. Oh, actually, I think it was you that told me Uni's lawyer responded. I think maybe I'll do that tomorrow night. Yeah, she never showed up to court. She literally did everything to ensure that that's the outcome that she would get. That's crazy. But okay, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you guys around tomorrow night. Thanks for being here. Bye.